Welcome everyone to another edition of Down and Dirty with the Badger State Tractor Pullers. We'd like to thank Front Street Toys, Casper Egg, Slama Enterprises, Trip Downing, and Wetton Camp Transport for sponsoring Down and Dirty with the Badger State Tractor Pullers. And on behalf of Greg Elsing and Ryan Zolik, we'd like to welcome Tom Gallitz and Thomas Wright with us tonight. Welcome, guys.
Hi there.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good.
So we couldn't get Al Wright, who can't be wrong, and Kathy on board with us?
Kathy's feeding calves, as bad as that sounds, and you never know what Al's doing.
Right.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Eating potato chips.
He could be.
He's eating potato chips and watching.
Yeah.
He's probably watching.
Yeah.
He will let us know what we did wrong.
Yeah. So over the weekend, got to visit the Gallitz's over there and speak with Al and Thomas, and we had a good time over there. So thanks for letting me stop by, and we rolled some footage over there. Then we got some carnage pictures for the end, don't we, Ryan?
Yeah. Yep. We'll show
Tom,
what you videoed.
Yeah. So Tom showed us the pictures of the carnage from down in Louisiana. So and to show the fans that the safety equipment works, just like Greg did.
Yep.
Yeah, we all got tested a little bit.
So
I don't want to be the one testing it, though.
Well, you did it first. You tested it first. I thought I had to do a follow-up to make sure you were right.
Right, you get a second opinion.
Get a second opinion. There you go. Yep.
It works, both cases. So I'm proud of both of you. All right. Well, Ryan, if you want to roll a video, let's roll a video. And if anybody got any questions for either one of our two Toms here tonight, go ahead and throw it up on the screen. We'll be happy to ask. We might get an answer and we might not. But if it's anything about Al, it's wide open.
Yep. Right.
Yep. Tom can answer all them.
Welcome, everybody. Another edition of Down and Dirty with the Badger State Tractor Pullers. Over in Jefferson, Wisconsin today at the Gallitz residence over here. So we got Al Wright, Tom Gallitz, and Thomas Wright over here, Al's son, with us here visiting today. And beautiful spring day. Couldn't be a better day to come over here and visit. So
I would agree.
So thanks.
Little chilly, but that's okay.
Thanks for letting me come over.
Absolutely.
So, Tom, you've been pulling for how many years now?
That depends on what you call pulling. You want tractor pulling or truck pulling?
Oh, geez, where did you start?
There's a lot of people that don't know this, but I actually started out with a four-wheel drive super stock truck.
Really?
Yep.
Back in
1985.
85?
Yes. Oh. Yes. Ran that truck for 3-4 years.
Did you?
Then I met Kathy.
Yeah.
Sold the truck. Then we were on a dry spell for about 10 years, no pulling. We were trying to actually survive.
Yeah. Build a business.
Yeah, well, no, we hadn't started that yet. Well, we were getting close, but anyway, we then in about 97, I took Kathy's farm tractor to a little place called Lebanon, Wisconsin, to a tractor pull, and I pulled her 766 International farm tractor, and broke the injection pump on it on a Saturday afternoon, and we had hay to bale on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, whatever. Had hay to rake on Sunday morning, so my name actually wasn't Tom at that point. So anyway, she said, "I don't mind you tractor pulling." She says, "But get your own. Leave mine alone."
Yeah, we got hay to do.
We got hay to do.
Yeah.
So then the tractor that the camera is not on currently was a 1466 farm tractor that we went and bought like 2 weeks later.
Yep.
And we kind of started from there.
I remember one of the first time seeing your tractor was actually down to Angle Kings, and I think it was just before you started pulling with Badger State.
Okay.
I was down there with our mini rod motor, and I walked in the door, and I'm like, "Well, that tractor looks familiar."
Yeah, what the heck is that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right up by you. And I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
So that's when I think it was first a super farm.
Yeah, we were super farm. We were started out in probably 2002. We started pulling with well, first it was the stock motor. We wrecked that, after the second pull. Then we got another used truck engine or whatever, and I think we pulled it probably 5-6 times, then wrecked it. And then that's where Mr. Al Wright comes into the program. Him and his brother were pulling pro stock and decided to discontinue their pro stock pulling, and we bought the motor from them. So that was our first pulling motor we bought from Al and Charlie.
So when you bought the motor, you got Al too.
We bought the motor and we got Al too.
Al came with it.
And we got some of Charlie too.
Yeah?
'Cause there's some Charlie help with some fabrication over the years and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yes, that's how our real pulling began. Then we were off to the races after that.
But history since then.
History since then.
History. Running super farms and points championships, and then moving up to the 4-1 class when that come about.
In 2012, I believe we made the move to the 4-1 class, and 2010 we won the champion tour
Got first and second.
Second that year.
Wow.
And then 11 we got second and
second.
third or second fourth, something like that, and then we switched. And we've had a couple of points championships with Badger State. Kathy won one in 15 or 16, and then Nick won one in 22. So that's the rest is history.
And Nick's been pulling since when?
What year was it? Nick was 16 or going to be 16. Nick was 15, and we went over to Utica.
Yep.
And Dave Smithback told Nick, if your mom and dad are okay with that, he says, we'll let you pull. So
It happened.
it happened. Kathy and Nick made a test pass, and Nick just became a natural at it.
Yeah. I remember that day vividly, and that day you could swear that he drove that thing 100,000 times.
Yeah, he just sat on it and
Yeah, he
did what he
sat on
needed
it.
to do.
Yep. And Nick's been paying attention for a long time. I remember when you guys were campaigning the super farm, and he was just a little guy sitting next to me up in an announcer stand, and he remembered everything, and I mean everything. You could, if I'd announced, oh yeah, so and so won this poll, last year, and da 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 up next, and as soon as I shut the mic off, he'd look at me and go, no, he didn't.
That was wrong, John.
My dad won this poll last year. Really? Are you sure? Yep. And he won this poll, and this poll last year. And then Kelly Elsing looked it up on the computer. She went back. She's like, he's right.
He's right.
Never had to question Nick after that. He was, hey, Nick, who won last year here? Johnny Coons. Yep, he was spot on.
Yeah.
He remembered all that.
I have one interesting little super farm story to tell. The first time Kathy drove was we went to a PI pull down in Hebron, Illinois. And at that point, we had the tractor running pretty good already. And,
that the
and
original
that was
one?
the original one, yeah.
Yep.
This one wasn't here yet. And Kathy decided she was going to drive. So she gets on it. It was a Hebron, Illinois. I don't know if anybody's ever pulled down there, but out there watching. But it's a good little track, and it had some clay to it. And she got the thing hooked up, took off, opened it up, and at about 100 feet, 150 feet, the front end started coming up, and she was hauling the mail, and she pulled out of it, and she got scared of the front end coming up, and so she just pulled out of it. She wanted to be safe and whatnot, so we get her off the track, and the first thing out of Nick is, "What do you call that, Ma?" He says, "You could have won that pole, Ma. Why did you stop?" So that was my 7 or 8 year old giving Mom driving instructions.
He could get away with that.
He didn't get away with it real well. He tried, but that was some of the fun times.
It is eerie feeling that people don't realize.
Oh,
When
yeah.
When that front end comes up, or it sets and it picks it, it feels like someone drops the bottom out of the.
You can
chair
ask
on you.
you can ask Al how that goes.
Yeah, Al knows.
Where did we go, Al? Down to somewhere in Indiana.
I never drove before when we built this tractor.
Yep, it was the first time we pulled
First
this
time
tractor.
We went down there, and I don't remember where it was.
It was
but
some Saturday night. It was I don't remember where it was, but
It was Chelsea.
me, Al, and Nick went down there, and we just went down there in the morning, and we were going to pull, and we came home that night, and We didn't know how many weights to put on the front end. We didn't want
We
to
were
put
heavy
too
on the
many.
scale, so he just kept taking them off the front.
Keep taking them off the front. So Al hooks
Don't need
up.
'em.
Al hooks up, takes off. The front end comes up. She's riding the wheelie bars. Al trying to see around the hood. His first time driving.
I got third, though. I had to back out or I was going out of bounds.
Yeah.
I remember the one time you went out of bounds and I talked to you afterwards. You're like, "Yep, it was out. There's no question about it. It is what it is."
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't change it, but that
A lot of
happens.
days were spent in that semi traveling around the United States with just me, Tom, and Nick.
Yeah.
On PPL circuit. our
We
championship.
had a lot of fun talking about going to the pull, and then a lot of fun talking about what we did wrong at the pull.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a learning curve all the time.
Every
Every
time.
time you go to a pull, you learn. If you don't learn, then you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, if you're not going to learn, you're not going to get better.
Yeah. And you got to try things. You got to, this worked, this didn't, and sometimes you got to go back to square one where you were having success.
That happens more than you would think in pulling. You think you're moving forward, and next thing you know, you're moving the wrong direction, and it's like, okay, let's stop this. Let's go back to what we know works,
Yeah.
and then we'll work it away from there
Yeah.
again.
Then work another angle from
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You can really start second guessing yourself in this game.
Yeah.
You do, yeah. Moving weights,
Yeah.
gear,
Yep.
but
Boy, that didn't work.
the nice part about having two, a lot of people over the years too, I've heard, not so much nowadays, but years ago, people would talk about, well, why would they run two tractors in the same class? That's kind of foolish, and you go back to like, Boyd's had two tractors. I mean, two tractor
a lot
teams
of two tractor teams over the years.
and it's a lot like NASCAR. If they're similar, or you really know each tractor, even if they're not the same, you've already got one shot in the can, and you know what to do to change the circuit
That's actually not the reason that we have two tractors.
L's the reason.
We have two tractors because we have four drivers.
Oh yeah.
Kathy likes to drive, Al likes to drive, I like to drive, and Nick likes to drive.
Oh, so
that's why.
That's
yeah,
why.
Yeah, that's why. But the byproduct is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
If one of them does a terrible job, I mean, look at how well we did in Louisiana. I pulled, and Nick learned a lot from me,
Yeah.
and then blew his tractor up.
Yeah, blew it
so,
up, yeah.
So I mean,
That happens.
in theory, what you just said
Yeah.
works good.
But last year, Rod Wickman, he won with your tractor down there.
Yep, he did, and we were pulling in the downpour of rain. And
Oh, were you?
Yeah, it was raining pretty good. So
We originally built this tractor and we're going to sell it.
yeah,
Oh, really?
I had some parts, he had some parts, and we put it together. And
Yeah, that was the original plan, is to sell this tractor.
then Kathy said she wanted to drive, so
And
we
then
decided the motor wasn't good enough, sold that motor and built a new motor.
as we were putting it together, she's like, I don't want all the old parts on this thing. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we got to change our plan here.
Yeah, and looks like we got to letter it.
Yeah, it looks like we got to letter it. Yep. Because the guy that
Yeah, we
was
got to think of another name.
the guy that was going to buy it, his wife didn't like diesel smoke. Well, she better not be around this then.
Yeah, it smokes a little bit.
Yeah. We had a guy here sitting on it and driving it around in the yard, and his wife said she didn't like it. So the rest is history. There it stays.
There it stays.
Yep.
It's amazing how all that comes together. You don't know that, this is what's going to happen. We're going to keep this and
Right.
move on
Right.
and do whatever. And
Right.
it's just fun how it evolves. So
Yeah. It's and we've spent a lot of hours in the shop building a lot of things on these tractors.
and just think, when you got two of them, that's double the prize money you get back.
It's double the prize money, exactly, and it's usually double the wreckage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you built, you had to build two of.
Yeah, we're going to call it Double Trouble. I know that name is out there already,
out there, yeah.
but it's very true.
That's true.
It's true.
That's true. Yeah. And usually when you hurt something on one, you go look at the other one before that happens again.
That's the plan, but it doesn't always work.
Doesn't always
I
work that
remember
way.
one little stint in the summer back 5-6 years ago or so. Popped a charger on one, and we learned a lot. Popped the charger on the next one. It's like, we're starting to form a pattern here.
Yeah.
It's not a good one.
And Thomas, who's kind of moved back,
Yep.
that retired from the armed forces,
Yep.
thank you for serving.
Yes, sir.
I'm very patriotic, and I make sure that every poll that I announce, I make sure that we salute all of our present and past soldiers and all of our EMS and fire department, police. That's credit to due to people that landed the free because of the brave. And when we're in need in the middle of the night, we make one phone call and they're at our door.
They're there.
Yep. So thank you.
Sure.
Yes.
So how do you fall into this other than following Dad around?
Yep. So obviously I'm Al's middle son. I did a little over 20 years in the Marine Corps and wasn't initially planned on moving back to Wisconsin. That wasn't our plan, but we ended up moving back here. My son goes to UW La Crosse. He's a sophomore up there. So we live right outside La Crosse, about 10 minutes or so. And I grew up with my dad and Uncle Charlie pulling our old tractor. And then like Tom said, one day just sort of stopped. I left for the service and I pulled with these
It was pretty much
guys.
the same time
Yeah.
that you pretty much left for the service about when you guys quit
2003.
pulling. Yeah.
But I've tried to get to as many polls as I can. I would meet them down in Concord, North Carolina on the PPL series. I've been to Louisville a few times and stuff like that when I could get time off from the military. But now that I moved back, I don't know, I probably made 7, 8 polls
now,
this summer.
now that he moved back, we actually count on Tom coming to the polls to
Yep.
help us.
So, yeah, I got a call from Nick. You're coming to Highland, right? Because I'm going to need the help, and I was in Highland.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
so I live up outside La Crosse. It's a little bit further for me to travel down here, but really anything this side of Madison, I try to get to. So I mean, I was in Highland, Viroqua, Baraboo twice, Toma, Hillsboro. So schedule fills up fast for me too in the summer, having still some kids in high school and one in college. But I love it. There's nothing I'd rather do on the weeknights and weekends than go tractor pulling. So I am more than happy to help anywhere I can.
The Highland poll was actually not kind of a good deal for you because you were supposed to do something with your wife.
Ooh.
What?
You were, yes, right.
Oh,
We
yes.
weren't spring that.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't an anniversary, it wasn't
Yeah,
a birthday, but I think there was something planned and I got out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And me and my son Brian drove down there. But it turned out good because we won that night.
Yeah,
so
yep,
loaded it up and sent it home with a win.
Yeah,
But
That's the good rides home.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the other good rides home is when it's not broke.
Right,
That's
right.
kind of a win too.
We have not noticed that this year yet.
Well,
But anyway,
off to a rough start, it'll get better.
it'll get better. It'll be fine.
It'll be better.
Yep. Conditions were not ideal that we were working with.
Yeah.
Your brother can attest to that.
Yeah, you'll have that in some of them polls.
Yeah.
It takes an army to run one, let alone two anyway. I mean, when there's only 3 of you, that's a lot of running.
It takes a lot of work, and a good number at a poll is 4 for 2, and 5 for 2 is better. But 2 for 2, Al and I have done it. We do not enjoy it.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's hard.
Last
because,
year,
wherever you fall in the line, I gotta hurry up and help Tom, and then Tom goes, and I'm 2 after him, so I gotta race back and get on that one.
last year down in Louisiana when Rod went with us, and Rod drove this tractor, we had to pull out of the stands to drive the Defender to pull us around. Yeah, and I am really not kidding you. This guy's like, "Do you need some help here?" Yes, that'd be perfect. He says, "I have one of these. I'm okay. I can drive a Defender." So, anyways, yeah, this year at least we didn't have to pull somebody out of the stands to help us.
Came pretty close in Hillsboro.
We were real close in Hillsboro. It was me and Al and Tom. That was all we had in Hillsboro.
And then Larry wanted some fuel and water.
yeah, Larry wanted some fuel and water
I was
sample.
kind of busy out of help.
You were busy at that point too.
Yeah, kind of busy out of
Yeah.
help.
That turned out to one of our highlights last year.
It did turn out to be a
Some of them turned into best pulls that end up being fun.
yeah.
You know, just ended up being fun and
Yep.
memories.
We won
Memories are made.
won the belt buckle. So
Yep.
That's right. Yeah,
It was
won the
good.
belt cup. Yeah, that was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, with Kristen's name on it.
Kristen's name is on my wall on the belt buckle.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yep.
That was a good weekend.
Yep.
Very good weekend.
It was.
Now to replicate that.
We're gonna try.
Yeah.
Yep.
So moving on with the tractors, 2 of them, and then business is busy.
Business
What
is busy.
What do you have for business?
So back in 1990, Kathy and I had a $6 an hour job. She had a $4 an hour job. She worked in a factory. I worked for another excavator just a little bit down the road. And we had determined that probably wasn't going to be exactly supportive enough for us. So I bought a dozer. I sold a new snowmobile that I had before I rode it, bought a dozer, and then from there, her and I would work on weekends doing grading jobs, and then a couple years later we bought an excavator, and then we would work on weekends and after hours digging basements and putting in sewers and whatnot. And then in 1995, I quit my job, and I've been unemployed since.
And it's growing now. So this is the anniversary year.
This is our 35th anniversary year, and we're actually on May 17th having a big celebration. And Al's wife is having a 35-year anniversary party for us.
Awesome.
We got Madison County coming.
Really?
Yes. So
So Al's wife works with Gallitz.
Al's wife is she's been with us for 25 years ish, something like that. She's the kingpin in the office.
She's the boss.
She's the boss. Yes. So at any rate, we've grown now. We have 25 employees and I guess 24 trucks and 40 machines. So we have worked hard at it, and we've had some luck with it, and employ that many people that are local, and I guess the rest is history on that.
And it takes a lot. That's not just working 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and
No, it's
weekends moving stuff.
well,
and
and
doing this part.
Al has made the comment back in the middle 2000s, upper 2000s. Him and I used to go pulling when we had one, and then we had the second one. And he's made the comment that it was much easier to get away when we had 6, 7 guys than it is when we have 25 or 30. It's just not quite as easy to get away anymore as it used to be.
Yeah, and Al, who is retired.
Al is
I
retired.
Worked for the lawnmower company for 41 years. Ended up being the production manager for the last 15, 20 years. I don't remember. And retired about 3.5 years ago.
And then now you're working for Tom.
Just part-time a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
part-time.
Everybody needs my help.
Part-time a little bit, yeah.
When Mom puts him on the work schedule.
Yeah.
Al, you know what you're doing Wednesday?
She lets Al know when he has to work.
I'm going to work on the pulling tractor. No, that's Thursday.
That's Thursday. Yeah, you're working here Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, it's been good to us, and we've worked hard at it, and we try to. I still have my first 2 employees when we started in business, and we still work for the same first customers that we worked for when we started in business.
That says it all right there.
Yeah. We got one of the second employee is going to retire this year. He's 66. So
He's probably on the fence debating wise of, is this the right thing to do or not?
Yeah, he definitely is, because first he said he's done on December 17th, and now there was talk at our spring safety meeting about, well, I might work some yet.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's going to go.
that's all right though.
That's all right.
But that says a lot when someone says that and wants to stick around and
Yeah.
work that long for you, and
Yeah, right.
and that means
right.
a lot to you too.
It does. You don't have to retrain them every spring.
Right.
It's really nice.
Right.
So.
Pulling
Yeah.
wise, PPL, Badger State, kind of bounce around other organizations.
We have been pretty much PPL and Badger State for 20 years now, and we did run some PPL Silver Series and Champion Tour over the years, but the last couple of years we stayed with Badger State, and I think we're going to stay pretty close to Badger State again this year. And
Close to home with everything.
yeah, it's easier to drive an hour or 2 to a pull than it is to drive 8 hours to a pull. So
You come home,
we've
yeah.
got a few changes that we've done over the winter here, and everybody will be surprised when we show up at the first pull. So
Good. That's good.
we'll leave it at that.
You still follow the 3 rules Al set?
Yes, we do.
You do, yeah.
We
do you
do.
know what the 3 rules are, Thomas?
I'm sure I do, but they slip my mind right now.
3 things that you never, cheap
Can't
out.
skimp on.
Can't
Can't
skimp
skimp
on. There
on.
is no room for that. What is it, Al?
Turbos,
Turbos? Yep.
injection pumps,
Injection pumps
and potato chips.
Potato chips.
Yeah, you've got
I
to
learned
have you got to have the best of all 3.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't go pulling.
No off-brand potato chips.
No,
It's
no.
name brand potato chips.
Yes,
Ain't
correct.
happening.
Somebody like to pack us some off-brand.
First truck stop you get to,
Yeah.
throw them in the garbage can and get something decent. We joke about that all the time for years and years.
I remember riding in the semi and you told me that. Never forgot it. Yep. 3 things. Yep. There's 3 things you just don't skimp on.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
there's no room for it.
Yep.
Yeah, turbochargers, injection pumps, and potato chips. I didn't think potato chips was going to be in the lineup.
But it is.
It made it.
Hey, it's important to us.
It's important. Yeah. What's your favorite chip, Al?
Ruffles.
Ruffles.
It's not me so much.
Oh, no?
Her favorite one. His favorite is Ruffles.
Oh,
Ruffles,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
got to have Ruffles.
If I give him a bag of Ruffles, out the champion tour, I get him to drive another hour.
You get another hour or 2 out of me on the way home.
There's a method to the madness
There
with
is.
Tom over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
After
Tom
we
and Al.
after we spend the first 2 hours talking about what we did wrong, then we kind of calm down, and then it's time to get the chips out.
Chips out, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, little celebration of
Yep.
food.
Yep.
You guys, what's one of your favorite pulls you guys love going to? Just one of the, it could be Badger State or whatever. Just one that hey, we're going here. This is one of our favorite places.
We've had fun at a lot of polls. That's really hard to answer. We've had a lot of fun and success at Hillsboro. We always enjoy Jefferson because there's everybody there that we know. It's usually a pretty good track and it's a good crowd.
Hometown pool.
And I can't discount any of the other polls that we go to because we do enjoy a lot of them. There's some things about some polls we don't enjoy, but we put a smile on and go every time and do the best we can there. And but I guess it's really hard to choose. It depends on what your criteria is to choose the poll you love the most or whatever. Don has always been really good at Hillsboro. Has been super helpful, super supportive to us, and I can't really pick one out. I mean, we've went.
I like Darlington only because I did well there.
we've had
That's
some
a good reason,
we've
yeah.
had some success at Darlington as well.
There's a couple pulls I go to that are my favorite because you hook to the track. It's just like the tractor loves this place.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You can be wrong in the seat and the tractor still does good.
This tractor tends to love Darlington.
This one does?
Yep. Al couldn't do anything wrong down there for first 3-4 years when we were 4-1.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I guess I would say it's between Jefferson, Darlington, and Hillsboro for me.
Was it 2 years ago at Jefferson that we had a pile of rain and
Two or three, yeah.
you guys worked
Two.
you guys worked the track. And
I think we got first and third that year.
You donate so much to Jefferson County Fair and help out so much down there, and it's pouring rain while we're standing there by the trailer, and I thought, this is going to be
The boss is coming.
a full rain out, and little did we know it's probably one of the best tracks ever come about in Jefferson.
There is nothing like a natural rain. The natural rain really can make a good track. And it was packed in well, so we went and bladed the mud off, rolled off an inch of mud, and we had when you got a track that the light limiteds put the front end in the air at 25-30 feet, and the pro stocks put the front end in the air at 25-30 feet. You got a good track in your hands.
Yep.
And that's what we had that year.
It was a great track.
Yeah.
Kathy, you want to join us?
No. I'm good.
Kathy doesn't want to join us.
But
Maybe she'll join us during the live part of it.
yeah, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
She'll help out with that.
But so I guess I would say that.
That was a good, the rain and even the crowd, but I was surprised that the crowd actually come back. Once they realized that we were going to pull, and we got pulling. We're late, but
we were on the phone with the fair board about 4 times that afternoon, and they're like, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?" And finally, when the rain was about over, the fair board said, "If you can make this work, let's have a pull." And that's what we did.
Yep.
We had a pull, and we had a good pull.
It was and everybody, you Nick there, and who was the other people who were helping out that helped out with the equipment?
A couple of our employees were there. I think Justin was there. Jake was there. Jake's been running the track rake down there for probably 4 years now or whatever, and he's really good at filling the holes in on the big end. And
It was just like a perfect song set in motion the way the equipment was rolling down through there.
Yeah.
Everybody knew their job, and it would just
We got lucky.
I think it was more good than lucky there. Yeah.
But yeah,
If you guys could drive another pulling vehicle, what would it be? Where would it be?
I really want to try a mini rod someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try a mini rod someday.
How about you, Al?
I'm content.
You're content.
Yes.
I mean, if someone said, "Here, go for a ride," no,
I'd rather see somebody else drive than win.
really?
He wants to do some watching, and he wants to get us focused a
wanna
little
win.
better.
And that's one thing about being part of this team is I know every time we leave, we're not going there to get second. We're going to go to win.
We don't always
Not that
win.
We don't, happy to see other people win and everything, but I mean, if you don't have that attitude,
Yeah.
then why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Very competitive you are.
yeah,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. Competitive edge.
we don't. I mean, I got to think Tom and Kath. We don't skimp on anything. We got we got the parts we need to. Now it's up to us to make them work.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Pick the
right.
spot in the track and
We spend a lot of
gear.
time with Kevin Engelking, and we gotta thank Kevin over the years. I mean, he's been a big part of our success.
Instrumental,
Yeah, I mean,
And not only the dyno, but the knowledge that he has
yeah,
to,
yeah,
help.
yeah.
you
Kevin,
win.
Kevin's help doesn't just stop at his place.
No.
I mean, if you're out on the track and there's something going on or whatever, he's right there to help. Everybody in the Badger State is that way. That's the wonderful thing about pulling with Badger State. Everybody's happy to see everybody. There's about 10 seconds where you're enemies, but the rest of the night you're friends.
Yeah, put
And,
the helmet on, you mean business, and
Yep.
after that,
you're
what can I do to help?
and when you got the helmet on, if you got a problem on your tractor, there's 4 or 5, 6 guys that'll gather around to help you.
Yeah. Don't get out. We got this.
We got this.
We know where this is at,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
And when you win a Badger State, you've done something. We got some stiff competition. I mean, everybody has got their game on and want to win. So
I would
mean,
say this 4-1 class started out probably stronger in Missouri at first. And it didn't take too long that up here we figured out it's like, okay, we're either going to step this up, otherwise we're the laughing stock here. And, then Al and I went and ran the Silver Series for a few years, and we could hold our own on the Silver Series. There was no question about that. But there was some marginal tracks the first year we ran the whole Silver Series that Al and I got a little lesson. And there was a few places that it's like, oh boy, we sure screwed this up. But
Yeah.
that was some of them rides home,
Yeah, we talked about it afterwards.
Yeah,
A few bags of chips.
Yeah.
yeah.
and it's probably not just the 401 class. In general, the Badger State has some pretty stiff competition in all classes.
All classes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you win in a Badger State hook, you've done something.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you win a points championship, you've earned it. You've not
You've earned
been
it.
given it.
You've not been given it. There's no
It's earned.
question.
And there's years, you guys know this too. I mean, you can not even look at the thing, and boy, you're right up there at the top all the time. And the very next year, you're like, what the heck happened? I didn't change
It
anything.
happens.
That happens so easily. I mean, some years you can just absolutely do no wrong, and other years you can try your damnedest and you don't get anywhere.
Struggle.
It's
Struggle
just,
bus is real.
yeah, the struggle bus is real. We always say we're driving it this year.
Yeah. What would you drive?
I would honestly say up until this last week, it would have been a mini rod. And then I saw a picture of Wayne Purser's 8-engine modified that he put together.
Yeah.
And I know it's just Expedition, but that and Toma, because it's only about 20 minutes from my house.
I would love to take that for a ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you're
That would be
used to
amazing.
that. You're used to that style tractor, and I.
7 days ago, I would have said a mini rod, but that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that 7 was a large number. Next thing you know, there's
And my daughter has always been all worked up about a semi. She would like a super semi.
really
Yeah, that's what Heather always said.
super semi.
Yeah, that's what she always wanted to pull.
And Nick, he's probably content here, but I'm sure he'd probably like to wheel a pro stock. At some
He
point.
would not mind a wheel of pro stock, but I don't think I think it's a common thought around here that we just as soon not have a pro stock. We don't have that kind of time in our
Yeah,
lives.
it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time to
With,
keep them
with
going.
one, let alone 2.
Right. It would be an impossibility.
That's hard. It's enough work just with.
It's
Two limited
it's,
pros.
It's a lot of work some days. Some days it's easy. Some days it's a lot of work.
And you guys put it all together and Robbie does all the motor work for you guys.
Robbie does the motor work.
We were just talking about that. We were trying to remember when the first motor we bought from Robbie, and what did we figure
We
it was?
figure it was probably 04.
04?
04. Yeah. Yep. And he's been a huge part of our success as well. I mean, he gives us the parts that we need and tells us to go make them work.
Yeah, and we're between Jefferson and Helenville, so how many minutes are you from this driveway to that one?
3 miles. Sometimes that's too close. Because sometimes, we should probably just get this and try it. Oh, we should probably just do this and try it. And
Yeah, Tom,
sometimes
stop by or have Al come over here.
sometimes it's too close, but it's very, very, very handy. And Robbie is super, super good at helping us. Troy does a great job with the motors and stuff that he puts together for us. And we'll usually, when we get a new motor, we'll usually have Lemke do it the first time. And then every time after that, obviously, if the camera was turned around, you would see that we do our own. We pretty much take out every bolt on these tractors and put them back in. It's just the new motor. The new motor for me is so expensive. I just want to make sure that we don't miss something the first go around. So, but beyond that, we do all our own motor work too.
You kind of have to, to afford and roll.
To run two of these.
Run two of these,
do.
you got to, go over and get parts and come back, put it back together.
Yeah, we do not have any big sponsors. We are not independently wealthy. We just do what we can do.
Yeah. Some assembly required.
There is some assembly required.
Yeah. So
Yes.
they went down to Louisiana and pulled and popped the Charger on running in the red. So that one's behind the camera. I'll get a little shot of that before we go. But yeah, that one's hurt.
Yes, she's a little bit ill at the moment, but
some pieces
but
in there.
parts
She's on
are
her way back together.
parts are down to Helenville, and she'll be back together by the weekend. It'll be ready.
A little bit of a RPM situation.
It was a little bit of it was raining, the track was wet, and Nick was sliding a little bit, and he wasn't on one wheel, but he was one wheel in it, and picked up some RPM, and the turbo got 10,000 RPM more than it should have had, and decided to leave the housing. But on a good note, the new PPL rule with the pipe thickness, there's not a ding in the pipe at all. The pipe it handled it. Everything stayed in there. So I called John and told him that we tested his theory, and it worked good. Because we've had it already where we've blown Chargers on this, and the pieces came out the pipe. So their rule is for a reason,
Yeah.
and it works.
And it's hard when you get new safety rules because it changes sometimes your whole setup.
And it did that for us. It changed our whole setup with the air door having to be V-banded on, and the star in front of the turbo wheel V-banded. That changed our turbo completely, and it does get a little frustrating, but we just proved to ourselves why you need it.
Why? Yeah.
So it's all good.
And it's for safety of not
Everybody
only the
else.
driver and everybody else too.
Everybody
People
else.
in the crowd, flagmen that straight.
I
out in front of
don't
it.
want to see my turbo wheel in the chest of a flagman.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see anything like that. So
No, and that's as the tractors and trucks evolve, and horsepower evolves, the safety follows right behind it. and
it
can never
has
be
it
too
has
safe
to
with
it has
some
to
of this,
follow
yeah.
it.
That or we won't be doing it.
No, we do not need people injured, and
No.
it happens so easily, and that's the one thing. One split second, you can take a life, and you can't get that back.
Nope.
You can break parts, you can bend parts, you can junk parts, you can get them back, but you can't get a human life back.
That
So
can be fixed.
yeah, it can be fixed, but not a
not
life.
a good situation, but it
No.
can be fixed.
Right.
But
So-
it's there, like you said, for a reason, and it proved you right there.
We
that-
proved it
why.
works. We proved it works. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Greg did that as well in Louisville.
Yep. Yeah.
2 years ago or whatever now. So it's all there.
It's
for
part
a
of it.
reason.
It's part of it.
But
So-
we got to do that as we keep going, and keep everything inside of safety.
Yep.
While we do all this.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy enough without that factor, and we just definitely don't need the danger factor.
So Pullng Limited Pro, come from Super Farm Limited Pro. You guys see yourself staying in Limited Pro?
That's our thought at this point. We really like we really like the class. We like the people we pull with, and we like to think some days that we're getting a handle on having it figured out. So starting into something else, I don't think you'll ever see a blown mini rod sitting here. I don't think you'll see a super semi sitting here.
No.
I just don't see us going.
I could roll mine in here and take some pictures and put on the internet.
and then say, there, look at what's in Gallitz's shop now.
Yeah, go see Slewfoot. And get a
Yeah,
look at the decals.
Come on,
Slewfoot.
injectors fit down them spark plug holes.
Maybe send Kathy a couple pictures.
Yeah, right.
This is Al's idea.
This is Al's idea. There you go.
Yeah.
And we stand a chance of getting away with it then. Oh, God. But no, I just don't see us straying too far from this class.
It's a good class. It's a fun class to watch, and it's very competitive no matter where you go in the country.
Yeah. And that is kind of the nice thing about this class. You know, unlike the super farm where there's differences in the turbo rule, our class, at least it was, and it sounds like it's going to be the same rules, so you can do that and go anywhere.
Yep.
It makes it, I mean, you know, we're always off on some weekends in the summer, and we like to go pulling. We just love going pulling, so we go
Venture out.
catch a couple of hooks here and there. So
That's what it's all about, though, too. And then go see other people in different places, other
yeah.
competitors you don't get to see, and
right.
fun of it going to other polls.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, we want to thank you guys for letting us stop out and hang out with you guys for a while. And anybody has any questions for Gallitz's, please go ahead and post them on there, and we'll ask away. So, thanks again, guys, for letting us hang out.
You bet. Well, thanks for coming on out, John.
Awesome. Good seeing you again,
Yeah.
Thomas. Al, of course, it's always good seeing you, Al. I can't leave Al out. He'll be upset with me.
Yeah, we just have a lot of fun doing what we do.
It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun running shop tours and summertime announcing polls, and it's just a great time.
Yeah.
Meet a lot of great people. Yeah, and a lot of fans. So anybody got any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. Even if it's about potato chips, we'll forward them to Al.
Yeah.
You want to learn about injection pumps and turbos? He can give you lessons on those too.
Yep. Some of that might be top secret, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
some of it, you know,
Won't venture too far.
we
so.
we'll be careful with that.
All right, thanks everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Good video. Hey, do you have a video of the carnage from Louisiana of how it happened, or the
It went boom. It went boom. That was the long and the short of it, Greg.
I seen a little bit on Facebook, but it wasn't the video, live video of it.
I don't know if there's a live video of it. I'm sure that Full Pull has got a live video, but John's got some shots of some of the parts.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan, throw them up there if you can throw those pictures up. He's working on it. There's what's left in the intake.
Look on the inside of the intake there. There's little parts left over.
Okay. Did you guys have one of them screen things that Robbie made in the crossover pipe?
No, we did not.
There's the turbo wheel. What's left?
There's a few small pieces, and then there's one bigger piece.
Okay.
There's the pipe. It lived. A couple little dings.
The pipe worked.
Yep. That's good to see, right?
Yep, I did call John right away, and I explained that to him, and he thought that was good information, and it was really nice of us to test it for him.
Right? Nobody wants to be the first one.
No, but we were.
Right. But that's good. That's good. Yeah. There's
Brian Cruz says you'll let anyone on here, letting Tom on here.
no.
You'll have Lloyd Miller's watching.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's learning something.
Thanks, Lloyd.
I remember when you first came out, Tom, too. It was fun right away. You know, you had one tractor there, and some are great stories from way back when, aren't they?
There sure are. I see Dave Smithback's on there. He remembers Nick's first pass too. It
Yep.
was
Yep.
that was I don't know who was more nervous. I'm sure it was Kathy or I, but Kathy was just beside herself when Nick was gonna pull and didn't bother Nick at all. He just went and pulled and she was just nervous as all get out.
Well, that's what I always say about Avery the first time he drove. I was more nervous the day he drove the tractor than the day he was born.
Yeah, right. What could possibly go wrong when he's born, Greg?
Right. Yeah, Dean Monty.
The real Dean Monty is on here. I always enjoy it. Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Dean.
Well, Dean's part of the reason I didn't make it there this Sunday.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah. We were at a wedding Saturday night together.
oh.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but this was 4:00 in the afternoon, Greg.
Well, I still
Lasting effects, huh?
hotel room, and I could hear beers being popped at 10 o'clock in the morning in the lobby. I knew I was in trouble.
Greg.
Wow.
Wow.
Was out.
So, you know, no good to drive and no good to talk then.
Right. I can't driver to get me home.
Colin Burkholz. I told Tom at the spring meeting he's so happy to be a grandpa because now he's allowed to look at as old as he does.
An excuse, right?
Yep, got a good reason now.
Yep.
Colin, he brings the bright side to everything. You notice that?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Right. So, but you're gonna have running for this weekend. When's your next pull you plan on going to, Tom?
Probably Sauk City if you have if our class is there.
It is there. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That'll probably be our first hook. We might grind a little feed in between, but that'll be our first hook.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Get down to see Kevin again, help him grind feed.
We probably are gonna have to. Vicky's getting short on feed, so we better go down there and turn the mill a little bit.
Yep. So and then is that Al's not on here, but he's usually at date night at Robbie's on Tuesday nights too, or when we do that once in a while.
Tuesday night, Friday night, doesn't take a lot to coax Al to come down.
Friday night sermon.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Oh, Kathy, twin calves to tend to. That's right. She said
the mother cow is not being real friendly, so her and Heather are working hard at keeping the two calves going.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That happens, right?
Yep.
How many you have many cattle, Tom, or you run a few?
I have 0 cattle. Kathy and Heather have a dozen or so.
Okay.
And horses and chickens and
Tom doesn't have any horses other than the 500, 650 that are in his pickup truck in the garage.
Right. And you noticed that there's a few dogs that bark once in a while, so we have a couple of them.
And a Green Acres thing going on.
Yeah, we got Green Acres going. That's us.
Right.
Farm living is the life for me.
There you go.
Tom's got to learn to sing that.
I used to watch it. Still watch it.
Still watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a few years, but it is always fun.
Yep.
Probably on Me TV.
Yeah, probably.
Me TV, yep. Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So if anybody has any other questions for Tom or Thomas, by all means, throw them up there. Or if you want to pick on Greg because he wasn't with us, you can do that too.
Thomas, what was your MOS in the military?
So I spent about 13 years as a machine gunner, and then the last 7 or so as an infantry unit leader. So upper management supervision of the infantry Marines that were under my charge. And then on and off, I spent in between my time in units that was deploying overseas. I spent about half my time as an instructor teaching at different schoolhouses on different weapon systems and tactics and stuff.
Okay, so where was your favorite base?
It'd probably be a toss-up between Quantico, Virginia, and Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So I spent some time in Southern California there for a while and stuff too. Just besides the food, Southern California really wasn't my thing. We spent 9 years in North Carolina, which was really nice. We got involved in the community and just sort of, you had the outdoorsness, but you also had the ocean right there too.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So you probably got to Afghanistan and Iraq a little bit, some of that fun.
Yeah. I did 2 tours in Iraq, one in Afghanistan, did one on a naval ship in the Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf. And then I did another one in Africa, Italy and Africa, training some African nations and stuff like that. And then also spent some time in Italy, Sicily to be exact.
So I've heard good things about being stationed in Italy. That had to be fun from what I've heard, right?
Yeah, the time I spent there was definitely fun. My wife's family's got a Sicilian background, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I got to tour a little bit around Sicily and then up to the army bases in like Vicenza. I got to see Venice, which was really nice.
Yep. Yep. That's a good part about serving time, right?
It is definitely. So
Well, I appreciate it myself. Yep. I did a little bit myself, but not what you did, that's for sure. So yep.
Thank you again for serving.
Yeah. Thanks for serving. We love that.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you guys for your service.
That's more important than anything else we do, that's for sure.
It sure is.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Because we wouldn't do what we do without guys like Tom and you helping us out.
Yep. Amen.
yep, thank you too, Greg.
I didn't do anything. We had a good while I was in charge. When I was there, nobody fucked with us.
No, I still got to answer to the one boss.
Right? Yep. Yep. That's that. But thanks for your time and thanks for coming on the show tonight. That's great. Hope to meet you this summer. I don't think I've ever got to meet you face to face, but
No, we were out there last summer a little bit, but always busy, running around.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we get the tractor pulls. We're all John's busy, I'm busy, and this trying to get everything going, plus trying to get our tractors on the track. That's a full-time job. Yeah.
It's a big job some days.
The feet. Yeah. Yeah. When you're pulling or like when I go announce, I don't get to see as many people and chat as much because get there, chat a little bit, and it's go time, all business until it's done. Then everybody's trying to get home so they go to work the next day.
Yep.
Yep. And weeknight pulls are really tough. We were adding up the events. Pro Stock's only got 15 hooks this year, but I only had like 16 last year. I'm thinking, man, it seemed like I was gone all the time, but it's only 16 nights, and more than half of them are Friday and Saturday night. It just makes it seem like you're gone all the time, doesn't it?
That 1 week for us, or we had 2 weeks, I think, last year where there was 3 pulls in a week. That actually gets to be just a lot. Luckily, this year we only have one of them weeks, and then it's 2 and down from there.
Yep. Yep. But
I think
one good thing about Badger State, you don't have to drive. Usually 2 hours will get you there.
right.
Yep.
Right. This year for us, it's Jefferson, Baraboo, and Darlington all the same week. So that week gets tough with all the things we do down at Jefferson at the fair, and Darlington. Usually Nick ends up staying back for the meat animal sale and sends us down, me and Al, down to Darlington. And last year, Al's oldest son Tom came along, and Charlie. So we had some help down there, but it gets to be a long week for us.
Probably hard to get Al to leave there, right?
Oh, Al knows when the semi starts, he either gets in or he's looking for a ride.
That's a fact.
Third night in a row, so you are pretty much ready to shut her down when it's over, right?
Yeah. Well, last year down at Darlington, we just got the semi drive tires over the crest of the hill getting out of there, and it started pouring. We had enough downhill with the tractor, with the semi tractor, that we got the trailer drug up out of the mud. So last year it was time to leave.
It was. Remember that. And the year before was the same thing, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. It was
out of there in the nick of time.
But
Yeah.
but last year Darlington was good to us. I won it twice.
You did.
Yep.
You won the shootout, and
I won the pull, and then I won the shootout.
Yep. That's always Always nice to get that little extra cash in there, right?
It's always nice to have a little bit of a high spot in the pulling, because then next week will be down, and it's good for everybody to get a little taste of the top once in a while.
Yeah, you'd like everybody to get a win a year. It very much keeps everybody interested. If they can do it once, they know they have a chance then.
Right, exactly.
Yep. That's,
Pep in your step.
Yep, pep in the step. That's right, John.
All that prize money I told you, double the prize money, right?
We've only actually had 1 year in pulling where we could actually say, wow, that wasn't so bad. But that doesn't normally happen.
nope. Not if you want to stop it. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You can tune her to be a class filler and be there every week, but that's no fun.
Nope. Sometimes you gotta. It's nice to win once in a while.
Yep. So I forgot what I was going to ask you. I don't know.
I could lie to you probably.
Work this year. Where you? What do you have for the big job this summer?
We're doing a subdivision in Jefferson, and then subdivision over by Cambridge, and then 2 in Watertown and 1 in Johnson's Creek. That'll be enough for the season for the bigger jobs.
You put the curb and gutter in, or which part do you do?
We do the earthwork and the underground work.
Okay.
No cement and no blacktop.
Okay.
But yeah, we do. We'll put down the gravel. We'll put down the storm sewer and the sanitary and the water, and move the dirt.
Okay. That's a big project there. That's for sure.
Yeah, we did. What did we do? 2.5 last year. So we're gonna try to step that up just a little bit more this year and do like 4. So
Okay.
hopefully we got some weather on our side. Hasn't looked that way yet, but we're looking forward to warmer weather.
Well, last year in June, it was not probably good for it. It rained every day.
No, last year in June wasn't the greatest time in the excavating world. Probably wasn't the greatest in any outdoor activity world.
It was, but for crazy enough, we got almost all our pulls in June.
Yeah, we just got lucky on that. What do we have? 1 rain out, maybe?
I can't remember. After 33 years, you kind of forget.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
But,
Blends together.
Yep.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get a little nice weather and plant some of that worthless corn and
Right.
beans, and do that all over again.
Right. You gotta make some hay. You got some cows there. You got to take care of horses.
We gotta make some hay. Yep. We gotta make some hay.
Hay for horses and cattle. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So yeah,
Well-
we stay busy.
You do. I know you do, because you guys are there and getting going. You're always on the run. I know that.
Just like everybody else, I think.
Just like everybody else. Yep.
Yeah, I know you guys are no exception to that rule. You're always rushing to get to the pole, and it's like everybody on the whole Badger State circuit that everybody's got a job that you got to get done, and so you can have some time to play.
You got to make some money before you can break it on the track.
Yep, and waste it.
Waste it on the track.
Make some and waste it. Yep.
But I want to thank you for coming on, Tom. And it was a great interview. I thought we had a lot of good times, good conversation there, and learned a lot of people did. So
well, good. I appreciate the opportunity, and glad it worked out good.
okay, perfect. Thank you, and thanks for coming on, Thomas.
Yep.
Nice to meet you. Sometime hopefully we'll meet you face to face somewhere. That'd be great.
I'll be at the Baraboo charity pull. Definitely be down there. I think we have a wedding if the class is at Prairie du Sac. Unfortunately, I think me and Dad and the family will be off at a family wedding, but definitely a Baraboo.
Yep. Well, I'm sure we'll see you there then. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to get some more shop tours done. Lori Schultz talked to me. We'll try and get Lori on here maybe towards the end of the month. Going to be doing the radiothon May 8th. I'm going to go to one of the radio stations and meet her there and talk about Badger State tractor pullers and our benefit pull. So I'm excited to go there and meet up with her and talk about the fundraising and stuff.
Yep,
That was good.
that'll be great.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Thomas. Had
Yes,
a good
sir.
time. Thank
You
you,
bet.
Kathy. And make sure you say hi to Al for me and thank him. Good time. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Watching every week. And we'd like to thank Front Street Toys, Casper Egg, Slama Enterprises, Trip Downing, and Wetton Camp Transport for sponsoring us. And Ryan Zolik, thank you for all you do for us too. So
Yep, thank you, Ryan. Yep, thank
everybody
you.
have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thanks for watching,
Okay.
everybody.